So, I was a bit disappointed this isn't about a penguin, but about a magpie named Penguin. Because I'm just saying, penguins are really adorable. A few months before the pandemic hit, I got the hold one, and you can say a friendship really bloomed. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's time once again to play catch up as we're talking a January Netflix release, Penguin Bloom. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were. If you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these Netflix reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Penguin Bloom. This stars Naomi Watts as Sam Bloom, a young mother whose world is turned upside down after a shocking, near-fatal accident leaves her paralyzed. Sam's husband, played by Andrew Lincoln, her 3 young boys, and her mother, played by Jacki Weaver, are struggling to adjust to their new situation when an unlikely ally enters their world in the form of an injured baby magpie they name Penguin. The bird's arrival is a welcome distraction for the Bloom family, eventually making a profound difference on Sam's life, teaching her how to live again. This is directed by Glendon Ivan, and it's based on a true story, lifting the material from a book of the same name by the actual Cameron Bloom. It's meant to be a sweet, sentimental drama that's supposed to lift your spirits and give you a sense of inspiration. Though, it's too bad that it takes at least an hour or so before it allows you to feel that way whatsoever, because the first half of this movie can be a downer, and it's understandable as we're focused on someone who loves adventure, used to be pretty active, and is now confined to a wheelchair, no longer able to do the things she once loved. It's absolutely heartbreaking to say the least, and I felt a ton of sympathy for Sam here. It's incredibly depressing. The thing is, when it comes to films that center around someone coming off a tragedy, there's this trap that they easily can fall into, where the film will drill it into the audience's head that it wants them to feel this one way, and for either long stretches or for the entire movie, it'll push off having you feel any other sort of emotion. And that's the vibe I got from this. Because this isn't very subtle about its approach whatsoever. We get a lot of very on-the-nose narration from Sam's son Noah, constantly telling us how everyone's feeling, and we get these scenes of Naomi Watts constantly smashing things, lashing out, getting angry, and there are moments where she'll feel a certain way, and the film will draw these heavy-handed parallels to the magpie. Like, anytime she feels down, so does Penguin. So it kind of beats you over the head with just this one emotion. And I know this may sound callous, as I really did feel sympathy for what actually happened. It's just when the messaging is so in your face without any room for nuance or subtlety, and that's the only emotion for about an hour that you're looking to get out of your audience very forcefully. I'm sorry, but just because I agree with the film's messaging doesn't mean I automatically agree with the execution. Like, I wanted more about who Sam was. I wanted to explore a little more about her life prior to this accident, and we only got little snippets of that. There will be these flashbacks where we see a little of how happy Sam was, but those were a very small part of the film. I wanted to get a little more in depth there. That way we have a fully fleshed out character. And I don't like basing my reviews around comparisons to other films, as I think that's usually unfair, but I will say an example of a movie that also released last month that did a great job of exploring the effects of a real-life tragic event was Our Friend. That explored this terminal cancer diagnosis and the effects it had on this entire family. But it also gave us a lot of flashbacks exploring how they were prior to the main events and what their dynamic used to be like, which would then be used as a contrast to how they are in the present-day sequences. And because of that, we got a clear sense of who these people are as a whole, and it really drove home our ability to connect with just about everyone and not simply just feel bad for them. I wanted to see more of that from this film, as I felt it was lacking in that area. Now, I will say Naomi Watts did a great job here, and while there was no subtlety in the way in which Sam was written, Watts attempted to give her some semblance of nuance. Some of her facial expressions really conveyed the pain she was feeling, and I thought the way the film explored how a relationship with the rest of the family also deteriorated was also not bad. Like Noah, played by Griffin Murray Johnson, blames himself for the accident because he was with her when it happened, and the stress of taking care of the family takes its toll on Cameron, and Sam doesn't even want him to ask her how she's feeling, so their relationship starts to crumble, and I thought Andrew Lincoln did a wonderful job here as well, handling that storyline. Plus, I did think the scenes with the magpie were pretty adorable at times. I am always a sucker for cute animals in movies, and in a day and age where animals in live-action films are being digitally added in, it was nice to see Penguin portrayed by real magpies. And once the film started to pivot to a more positive tone when Sam decides to try making the most out of her situation, it does get better, though it still retained that heavy-handedness that plagued much of the film's first half. And I just don't particularly appreciate it when a film is basically telling us how to feel instead of organically trying to evoke these emotions from us. So a lot of the stuff like the narration, the overly sweet sentimental moments, the forced symbolism, all that really undercut any genuinely nice moments by the actors. And the magpies. I wanted to like this movie. I really did, but while I have a lot of sympathy for what happened in this real-life tragic event, I never felt like I really got to know these characters. The film spends its first hour being incredibly gloomy and depressing, and it drives that feeling home with a lot of heavy-handed symbolism rather than trying to naturally elicit any sort of emotional response. I think the acting elevates a lot of the material, and at best, if you're a fan of these actors, maybe it's worth a shot for you, but I personally didn't really care for this. It's not terrible, but it's also nothing I'd revisit anytime soon. Penguin Bloom gets a 5.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Penguin Bloom, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find it emotional? Do you have a favorite animal-centered movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.